30 years ago, identical twins, Yumi Ray and Yumi Gi, were born so alike their mother couldn't tell them apart. Ray was quiet and brilliant, Gi mischievous and athletic. As children, they switched places. Ray aced Gi's tests. Gi did Ray's PE until a blood test exposed them, and their mother cut Gi's hair to tell them apart. Ray's studies took her to top Seoul universities and a corporate job, while Gi's athletic career ended after a fall. Now 30, Gi works odd jobs and, as a janitor, constantly compared to her successful sister. When she meets Lee Hosu, their neighbor's lawyer's son, he only asks about Ray irritating her. She recalls his coldness in school, despite her kindness and rumors of his link with Ray. Meanwhile, farmer Han Se-jin hires locals, and townspeople reveal Gi once rejected Seoul jobs to care for her paralyzed grandmother, while Ray focused on her career. When Gi calls Ray about their grandmother's worsening health, Ray assumes she wants money. Their mother sides with Ray, who pays the bills. Told to deliver food to Seoul, Gi refuses but later runs into Hosu again. When he mentions Ray, Gi angrily waves him off, hitting his ear. She later learns he was in an accident causing burns, hearing loss, and a damaged leg, realizing why he misheard her teasing. After apologizing, he finally asks about her life. Hosu reveals Ray fled when he met her in Seoul, urging Gi to check on her. At a cafe, Gi finds Ray depressed and suicidal. When Ray vanishes, Gi rushes to her apartment and stops her jump, both falling but surviving. Crying, Gi says she can't live without her. Ray admits she's been bullied at work after exposing misconduct. Watching her shattered sister, Gi vows to take on her struggles so Ray can finally live freely. The sisters switch identities after adjusting their hairstyles and preparing notes. Gi goes to Seoul, Ray returns home. In Seoul, Gi disrupts her first meeting, taking the wrong seat in others' coffee. Becoming office amusement, she idles daily and reports the job is easy. In their hometown, Ray blends into Gi's life and works at Han Se-jin's farm, where he gives no tasks and spends days fishing or reading, confusing Ray despite the generous pay. At work, Gi is given a property acquisition job, but is repeatedly thrown out by a fierce restaurant grandmother, deeply regretting accepting it. Ray is scolded by Han for discarding a broken chair. He reveals he assigned no work to test her sincerity, which angers her. Lee Hosu meets Gi, thinking she's Ray, wanting to discuss her whistleblowing case. Though Ray forbids it, Gi secretly meets him, shares instant noodles by the Han River, and lies about the case. Hosu later rejects a shady lawsuit, and the grandmother finally calls Gi back. Watching her excitement, Hosu senses something strange. Lee Hosu suddenly suspects she's actually Yumi Gi. Gi denies it, and Hosu accepts it, but she feels the brief warmth between them shut again. She remembers always being overlooked by her mother, by classmates, and by Hosu, whom she once saw embracing her sister before her biggest race. At the restaurant meeting, the grandmother rejects the company offer but says she invited Yumi out of respect. In their hometown, Ray works at Han Se-jin's farm, helps him choose seedlings, and even takes over driving when he nearly crashes. Han later shares memories of his grandfather and apologizes for misjudging her. Trying to learn the grandmother's interests, Gi follows her to a poetry recital but gets caught and panics. Hosu reveals the grandmother is a poet who once funded his scholarship, inspiring Gi to thank her, though Hosu refuses to join. Gi later visits alone but is scolded again. After an uncomfortable outing with Hosu and a rude classmate, Gi faces pressure from her company. To her surprise, the grandmother agrees to meet, because Hosu secretly visited with a gift. That night, he confesses he resigned to live freely and help Yumi Gi. The grandmother's attitude toward Yumi Gi softens. She gives her treats and chicken soup for Lee Hosu. Yumi finds Hosu discouraged from failed job hunting, so she buys yarn and teaches him to crochet to ease his anxiety. Hosu wonders why Yumi Ray is so kind, but she redirects him to focus on knitting. When Yumi is supposed to help the grandmother buy a refrigerator, Hosu volunteers. The grandmother becomes fond of him and makes him her legal representative for future negotiations. Hosu is invited to a reunion and doesn't inform Yumi. Classmates spread rumors about Yumi Ray's failures. Annoyed, Yumi grabs the phone and declares she'll attend. Meanwhile, Ray cares for their grandmother weekly and overhears a caregiver praising Gi's devotion while criticizing Ray. Their mother then scolds Ray about hospital fees, assuming she should shoulder responsibility. At the reunion, classmates mock Gi's current job. A male classmate flirts with Ray, irritating Hosu, who fears he might like her. Ray later orders Gi to visit the grandmother. They argue. The next day, Han Se-jin brings strawberries and life advice. Sour berries can still become good jam, prompting Ray to send a jar to herself. In Seoul, the grandmother misses the meeting. Yumi finds her collapsed. Hosu rushes in and helps. The fall triggers Gi's memories of depression after losing her athletic career, and the grandmother comforting her before her stroke. Gi reveals her long-held guilt, and Hosu shares his own past, insisting she's not to blame. On the rooftop, Gi asks why he defends Yumi. Hosu answers quietly, "Because I like her." Yumi learns she was Lee Hosu's first love and eagerly presses for details. He only says it began on the mountain behind their school, leaving her confused since she recalls nothing special except helping him down. She spends the day overthinking. Lee Hosu insists on arranging the meeting himself, so Yumi Ray isn't caught in between. In their hometown, Yumi Ray gifts Han Se-jin strawberry jam, which he cherishes. Yumi Gi's jealous ex tries to compete. Meanwhile, Yumi Gi panics over a required land purchase report until she finds reference materials secretly left on her desk by a male colleague who shyly admits helping. Yumi Ray later teaches Han to drive. He fondly compares her to his grandfather and promises an afternoon tea party. Lee Hosu suddenly arrives, believing Yumi Ray is Yumi Gi, and recalls their school mountain hike. How facing his scars and reaching the summit with her support changed his life. During a call, Yumi Gi learns she and Lee Hosu never actually dated. A past moment she misunderstood was due to her sister's illness. The truth crushes her. Rumors soon spread in the village about Yumi Ray being in a love triangle. Lee Hosu overhears gossip at the company and defends Yumi Ray. In a meeting, he also exposes a superior who takes credit for Yumi Gi's work. Yumi resigns to escape rumors, while her superior keeps nitpicking the report. Emotionally drained, she drinks and remembers her grandmother urging her to live for today. Drunk, Yumi Gi calls Lee Hosu. When he arrives, she demands honesty. He finally confesses he fell for her because she waited at the mountain's peak, believing he'd climb up overwhelmed. Yumi Gi admits she liked him too. The next morning, Yumi Gi wakes in Lee Hosu's bed with no memory of her drunken confessions. Lee Hosu recalls her leaning close, demanding to know who he liked and how he held back. Wanting to tell her when she was sober, Yumi Ray later calls, saying she resigned and will switch back soon. So Yumi Gi prepares to fix things at work and with Lee Hosu. Attorney Lee secretly gives Yumi documents revealing a future light rail project near Grandma's land, warning her not to tell anyone before the acquisition. Yumi agrees to attend a wedding after hearing Lee Hosu will be there. At the event, classmates mock her past with her ex-boyfriend. Yumi learns he actually liked men and only used her as cover. Lee Hosu once protected them and even smashed a phone to stop classmates from filming. Feeling wronged for him, Yumi chases after Lee Hosu. He had already suspected she was actually Yumi Gi from something she murmured in her sleep. Seeing her sprained ankle, he carries her, and Yumi can no longer hide her feelings. Meanwhile, a typhoon damages Han Se-jin's farm. Yumi Ray rushes to help, saying his strawberry world feels like the only real place, and Han admits he doesn't mind people talking about them. When Yumi Ray's stomach growls, Han makes Noodles. She finds documents showing he was once a top asset management executive and wonders why he left such a career. Han only promises to explain the day after tomorrow. The sisters prepare to switch back. In Seoul, Yumi Gi urges Lee Hosu to meet her sister, but he nearly spits out his coffee. He has already figured out the switch. Later, a man accuses Yumi Gi of having an affair until a classmate steps in, revealing Yumi Ray was once rumored to be involved with her superior. Yumi Gi chooses not to interfere. Lee Hosu returns home and tries asking Yumi Ray about her withdrawn report, but their call ends abruptly when their mothers are hospitalized. At the hospital, Han appears, still unaware they are twins. Before Yumi Ray leaves, Han finally explains his past. He missed his grandfather's last call during a critical meeting, and the regret pushed him to return to the farm. Yumi Ray silently supports him. Unsure of Lee Hosu's feelings, Yumi Gi hesitates. But after his friend warns him not to wait forever, Lee Hosu gathers his courage. That night, he holds Yumi Gi's hand and confesses, and she answers with feelings she has long kept hidden. Yumi prepares to return to Seoul, unsure if she and Lee Hosu are officially dating. At the station, instead of a romantic goodbye, they awkwardly shake hands. When their mothers are discharged, Lee Ho-soo also returns to Seoul, and Yumi joyfully runs to him. With no date plan, they simply go to his house, where Yumi notices he brought many bags to avoid burdening his mother. This reminds her of the past, when Lee Ho-soo once lashed out at his stepmother during a memorial rite, thinking she didn't care for him. After learning she hadn't abandoned him, he cried in Yumi's arms, a memory that still moves him. Lee Ho-soo shows Yumi a Seoul travel brochure he prepared 10 years ago for a trip they never took. They use it for a nostalgic date, but many listed places no longer exist. When they meet a former co-worker, Yumi panics and lies about her job to avoid embarrassing Lee Ho-soo, angering him and ending the date badly. The next day, Yumi meets Chief Park, who looks strikingly like her late father. Moved, she agrees to withdraw from a project to avoid gossip. That evening, she apologizes to Lee Ho-soo, explaining her insecurity. He admits he was silent because he was sick, not bored. Relieved, Yumi hugs him, and he holds her close. Suspicions over Yumi Ray's identity grow at the company, and she is forced to unlock the fingerprint-secured data room. To everyone's shock, the door opens, confirming she is indeed the real Yumi Ray. When Yumi Gi urges her sister not to run anymore, Yumi Ray becomes furious. She believes fighting powerful superiors will destroy them both. Their sisterly exchange ends, and Yumi returns the phone, ending their secret life swap. Yumi Gi goes to Lee Ho-soo's home, planning to leave Seoul, but Lee Ho-soo urges her to stay and blurts out that she should live with him. Their awkward nervousness softens as they reassure each other and grow closer. The next day, Lee Ho-soo attends a promising law firm interview, while Yumi Gi visits the restaurant grandmother to confess the truth. But when the grandmother accuses her of exposing her family's secret, she angrily cuts ties, leaving Yumi heartbroken. Back home, Yumi Gi removes her extensions and decides to return to the countryside. She breaks down before her mother, and years of misunderstandings finally heal in an emotional reconciliation. Meanwhile, in Seoul, Yumi Ray faces Chief Park, the man who once pretended to protect her, but later spread lies and let his wife publicly humiliate her. With new evidence and support, Yumi Ray refuses to stay silent. When Chief Park tries to silence her again, Yumi Gi arrives and fights back. At the police station, with Lee Ho-soo representing them, Yumi Ray finally declares she will pursue justice to the end, no matter who stands behind him. A few days later, Yumi Gi sees a news report exposing the restaurant grandmother for stealing her deceased friend's identity to claim the rights to a poetry collection. And the restaurant worried, Yumi and Lee Ho-soo visit the restaurant, but grandma avoids them. Han Se-jin finds Yumi and spends a day introducing her to friends who started successful businesses after many struggles, hoping to inspire her. He admits he hasn't decided whether to stay or work in the US, and wants to hear her choice first. Before leaving, he invites Yumi to partner with him again, this time in America. Yumi later finds a prosecutor's summons in Grandma's trash, and Lee Ho-soo realizes the scandal was orchestrated by his law firm senior, working with Yumi's company to force Grandma to sell her land. The situation worsens when the nursing home refuses to accept payments for the son, who is actually Rosa's child, the real owners. Yumi refuses to abandon Grandma and convinces her to fight. Moved by Yumi's sincerity, Grandma finally reveals her real name, Sang-wol. As a young, uneducated orphan, she was often bullied until befriending another orphan, Rosa, a talented poet. After Rosa married a man who abused her, Sang-wol helped her escape, but during a violent confrontation, Rosa killed her husband, and Sang-wol took the blame, going to prison in her place. Afterwards, the women built a business under Rosa's name because of Sang-wol's criminal record. Before dying of cancer, Rosa left a hidden notarized will, transferring everything to Sang-wol. Lee Ho-soo finds the documents, and with them, Grandma's indictment is suspended. While Yumi celebrates, Lee Ho-soo suddenly suffers a frightening hearing loss and hides it from her. Lee Ho-soo visits the hospital and learns he has sudden severe hearing loss, with little hope of recovery. The diagnosis leaves him devastated, especially when he thinks of Yumi unaware of his condition. Yumi brings marinated crabs to his home, but he changes the door code and avoids her, hiding his despair. Preparing for the worst, Lee Ho-soo transfers Yumi's case to his senior and finalizes documents for Grandma Sang-wol. He confides in his mother figure and begs her not to tell Yumi. At dinner, Yumi excitedly talks about their Seoul trip, while Lee Ho-soo reads her lips to understand her, Seeing him unwell, she suggests canceling the trip. Overwhelmed, he decides to break up, claiming they come from different worlds. When Yumi demands honesty, he admits the truth. He may go deaf. Yumi refuses to leave him and promises to learn sign language and stay by his side. But Lee Hosu insists on ending things, not wanting Yumi to sacrifice her life for him. Both break down in pain. Yumi later resigns from her company and chooses to rebuild her life, staying to help Han Se-jin with the strawberry farm. Meanwhile, Lee Hosu's mother comforts him, urging him not to push love away. Finally, encouraged by Grandma, Yumi decides not to run from love. When she steps outside, Lee Hosu approaches and pulls her into an embrace. He apologizes for shutting her out, and they choose to face whatever comes, together. Lee Hosu surprises Yumi with a custom matching ring, and she hugs him tightly, grateful for their new beginning. That night, Yumi's mother catches them kissing in the street. Although she speaks coldly to Lee Hosu, she is not against their relationship. She only worries that her daughter will need great strength to love someone struggling with illness. Later, Yumi and her mother share a quiet farewell at the station, hugging tightly before they part, finally understanding each other's love. Lee Hosu is hospitalized for a week, and Yumi cares for him. His mother soon learns about their relationship and warmly accepts Yumi, thankful that her son can smile again. Meanwhile, Yumi Ray takes over Han Se-jin's strawberry farm and later wins her harassment case. She sees Han off at the airport, promising to update him and meet again someday. Tragedy follows when the sister's grandmother suffers a heart attack and chooses to spend her final days at home. Yumi sleeps beside her until the night she peacefully passes away. In her memory, the sisters decide to live bravely. Yumi Gi studies hard and eventually enters her dream university, while Yumi Ray continues improving the farm despite setbacks. Lee Hosu learns sign language, supports deaf clients, and reconciles with his senior. He and Yumi attend the grandmother's poetry recital and take a family-like photo. Yumi Ray expands her farm business and later meets Han Se-jin again after his return from the US. One day, Yumi Gi finds a ring hidden among Lee Hosu's things, realizing he plans to propose. But he tells her he can wait, her studies and future come first. They begin living together quietly, building a gentle life side by side. Looking through old family photos, Yumi Gi realizes life isn't a finished story, but a notebook waiting to be written with courage, love, and hope. And that's the complete journey of our twin sisters, a story of identity, love, and finding the strength to choose your own path. Their lives may have taken different turns, but in the end, they proved that staying true to yourself is the greatest victory of all. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next recap.